Okay, so good evening, everyone. Did you read your textbook, everyone? Raina, Sanana, yes? Vishma, switch on your video. We'll start with the revision, small revision. I'll ask you questions. Who wants to answer first? Come on. I should. Okay. First question. Who gave the five systems? In regarding the contextual views of development.
Yuri Brenner.
Spell.
Brenner.
Once more. Bronfenbrenner.
URIE.
Ah.
BRONFEN.
Okay. Is it correct? Everyone? Is Aishwarya correct or not? Any objections? Yes or no? Shake your heads at least. Ashish is doing like this. I don't understand what that actually is. Okay, next question. Who wants to answer next? Elvina. Oh, initially, I'll ask only easy questions. So whoever likes to come first, answer first. Okay. Elvina. Okay, which are the five systems given by Yuri?
Microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem.
Okay, and in the center, what do we have?
Individual.
The individual, yes. Any other systems that you learned? Because in the psychology answer sheet, some of the students have written the degree and PG level answers, which I didn't even teach. Oh God. Okay. Are you all happy with the marks that you got? Yes. Okay. Then what else? Next question. Who wants to answer? Then okay. Give me some points in the lifespan perspective. You were absent that day.
I think so. I'm not heard of it.
Yeah, I'll give another question. Wait. Define development. Any? You.
After all,
Third.
can you ask after all?
Okay, another question. Okay. Give me some of the names of the reflexes.
Grasp,
Babinski.
Babinski, rooting, this
One more. You only remember that much. Which was the other reflex, Elvina?
Moro.
Moro reflex. Okay?
Ma'am.
Yes. Okay. These are the reflexes that will disappear after a certain period in the development.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I think Meghna is in the waiting room.
Sorry?
Meghna is in the waiting room. Can you check?
Okay. Next question. Who wants to answer? Nobody? Come on, we have to continue the class. Who wants to answer next question? Krishna. Yes, lifespan perspective. You were present, I hope.
The 7 points.
7 points.
Development is lifelong.
Alright.
Then
Development is lifelong.
development
Okay,
is lifelong.
Hmm.
Then it is multidirectional.
Hmm.
It is highly plastic.
Hmm.
It is influenced by a historical
Conditions.
condition.
Yes.
It is related to many other disciplines like anthropology, psychology, etc.
Any other disciplines? Yes. Then
it is based on different contexts.
context. Individual responds or reacts according to the context. You missed 1 point in between. That is the second point in the order. In the story, it was regarding the backpacking.
I forgot the word. They're interwoven. The various processes in human development are interwoven.
Very good. Then, next question. Who wants to answer? Is it my connection problem or yours? I can't see anybody putting their hands up. Yes, come on, fast. Next person. Meghna. Yes, define development.
Development is the pattern of progressive, orderly, and predictable changes that occur from conception to over a lifespan.
Okay, fine. Then next one. Next question. Who's remaining? Sana, Ashish, and Amal. Come on. Who wants to answer next? I can't see anyone. Yes, Sana. Tell me something about prenatal development. Few points. Connection is really poor. Yes, Sana. Till how many weeks is the infancy period? Sorry, the prenatal period. I can't see anyone, or all are stuck. Come on. Unmute.
What is the question?
Can you give me a few points about prenatal development?
It is in 40 weeks. The process is
40
in 40 weeks. And
Yes. Where?
stage of infancy.
That is before the stage of infancy. From where to where? From what process to what stage does prenatal period occur? From
From
conception to
to birth. Consumption to birth.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember the maternal characteristics, teratogens, and the other diseases that we discussed? Teratogens, do you remember? Anybody help? Teratogens, Ashish is an expert pro in that. Ashish, help Sana. Ashish is stuck. All of you are stuck.
They are the environmental agents.
Yes.
Environmental agents
Agents.
includes drugs, alcohol, pollutants, radiations, etc. And the carbon molecules. That's all.
Carbon monoxide and
Mercury,
pollutants. Yes,
lead.
I told you, no? Very good, Ashish. Then, Amal, since you told me that you didn't read, give me anything that you learned in this chapter. Anything that you like. Amal,
Yes, ma'am.
tell me anything that you learned in the chapter Human Development. Don't look and read. Just tell anything that you remember.
You ask question.
Don't read, Amal. Don't give me anything that you remember. What was the chapter all about? Don't bite your nail. Don't get tense. Just relax and tell me anything that you remember of this chapter. Do you remember any stages? What are you scared of, man? Am I so scary?
Ma'am, factors influencing development.
Development. Okay. Then?
Ma'am, it is
Okay.
due to the
That's okay. Leave it. Read and come tomorrow, okay? You do that? Okay. So we have finished with the infancy stage. Now we'll move on to the next stage, that is childhood. And this particular stage, usually in this chapter in human development, we are learning childhood in general. But when we study other theories, we have the early childhood, middle childhood, and late childhood. But in our chapter, we'll study the various types of developments taking place in childhood in general. Okay. So we'll start with the physical development. And usually in childhood, what happens is all kinds of developments occurs, like physical development, socio-emotional development, cognitive development, moral development, and so on. And we have different theoretical concepts to study each types of development in the stage of childhood. And infancy, yesterday we learned that brain cells are at a very rapid growth. The brain of the baby or the brain of the infant grows in a very rapid rate. The brain cells also keeps on increasing. And in childhood, when the child enters the or the infant enters the childhood stage, the development or the brain development, the increase in the brain development slows down as compared to infancy. Okay, all these things happen. Then in childhood, and regarding social emotional development, if we consider the child, I already told yesterday, the infant develops the close bond with the primary caretaker or their parents. But during childhood, when they enter the stage of childhood, and as they go through the stage of childhood, they start making bonds or connections with other people in the family, that is other family members. Then also when they go to school, when they start the schooling, they form close relationships there also. That is regarding the social emotional development. Then regarding cognitive development, we have different stages of development, especially with the Piaget's theory. In infancy, we just had one stage, that is sensory motor stage. Then what else? Then the rest of the thing we'll see separately. We start with the physical development. The first development that we're going to study in childhood is physical development. Early development follows two principles. So we have two principles in order to describe the physical development. Ashish, why did you raise your hand now? I got a notification that Ashish raised his hand. What happened?
Accident.
Okay.
Accidentally.
It's okay, it's okay. Okay, so in physical development, we have two principles. So are you sitting there and chatting or doing something else? Because
No,
if you
ma'am.
engage in activity, the probability of accidents increases in psychology class. Okay?
Yeah, the display is not clear, so zooming, I
Uh,
tapped.
okay, fine. Okay, so again, we have cephalocaudal principle and proximodistal principle. Divide the names and study cephalocaudal principle and proximodistal principle. And what cephalocaudal principle means is that the development, it occurs from the cephalic or the head region to the caudal or tail region. Caudal, C-A-U-D-A-L. Remember the spelling? And the children gain control over the upper part of the body before the lower part. So from head to tail or head to toe in a vertical fashion. So the head part develops first and then the lower parts of the body develops thereafter. That is the cephalocaudal principle. So according to the cephalocaudal principle, the development starts from the cephaloregion and moves towards the caudal region. That is starting from the head region towards the tail or the toe region. And proximodistal principle is somewhat similar, but in the other direction. That is from the center of the body and moves towards, that is development starts from the center of the body and moves towards the extremities or the sides or more distal regions. So the children gain control over their torso before their extremities. The torso means the trunk part of the body. That is the forming the center part of the body. And that part is first developed and then the development moves towards the extremities. And in case of cephalocaudal principle, I can give you an example. Like when the child starts to crawl on the floor, the child puts the hands first. Right? Have you seen? And then only the rest of the leg portion comes in front. That is according to the cephalocaudal principle. And proximodistal, I can give you an example like if the child has to grab something, then initially during the development, the child turns the whole body there first, turns the whole trunk portion first, and then only by subsequent learning, it tries to put forward the hand or legs to grab something. That is the proximodistal principle. I show you the picture and then it will be more clear. See, Cephalocaudal principle, according to that, development happens from head to foot. That is the central line, from head to foot. And in the proximodistal, it is from the center or the midline to the extremities. That is this part. See the two lines? That is the proximodistal principle. So for cephalocaudal, it is from the which direction? Ashish? Which direction?
Question once more.
Cephalocaudal development occurs from where to where?
Head to tail.
Who told?
I remember. Written on book.
Okay. And the other one? What was the other name of the principle? Of the other principle, second principle.
Proximomedian national.
National, international what? Proximodistal. Show you that one. Cephalocaudal and proximodistal. Please write and study. Please don't make the spelling mistake. If you make the spelling mistake, I can't give you a mark because it becomes some other word. Okay. These principles, they have specific names. So if you keep on changing the spellings, then the coming generations would have to learn these in some other names. I don't know what. Okay, so cephalocaudal principle and proximodistal principle. Okay, fine. Any doubt in that? Anyone? Okay. So we have the next development, that is motor development. Motor development, we have two type of motor skills, that is gross motor skills as well as the fine motor skills. And what gross motor skills means is that the motor skills that involve large muscle activities. For example, this activities is a mistake in the slide, such as walking. One example is walking, your jumping, dancing, running, all these falls under the category of gross motor skills. And the gross motor skills means it involves large muscle activities. It involves a lot of energy and lot of muscle and skeletal activity. So that falls under the category of gross motor skills. And the other set of skills are called fine motor skills. These are the motor skills that involve more finely tuned movements such as finger dexterity. Finger dexterity means the coordination of your hands and your fingers. Like if you want to draw something, you have to hold your pencil with your fingers and you have to move your hands together in order to draw a certain design or picture. So that falls in the category of finger dexterity. That is a coordination between your hands and your fingers. That is finger dexterity. Coordinated movements between your hands and your fingers is called finger dexterity. That is an example of fine motor skills. And what does fine motor skills mean? It involves more finely tuned movements. Okay. Apart from the gross motor skills, the set of skills that we have is fine motor skills, and this involves finely tuned movements of the hands or legs or whatever it is. And can you take your textbook, table 4.3, page number 73. Amal, can you read out? We have the major accomplishments in the year from 3 to 5, gross and fine motor skills. Read age 3, 3 years.
3 years. Hopping, jumping, running.
Okay, wait. Hopping, jumping, and running. Those are the main gross motor skills that occurs in the age of 3. Okay, so 3-year-olds, they are what all gross motor skills do they involve in? They mainly hop, jump, and they run. Okay, those are the gross motor skills because these hopping, jumping, and running, all these requires too much of muscle activities. That is why it falls under the category of gross motor skills. Okay, Amal, the fine motor skills, 3 years old. Read.
Build blocks. Pick object with forefinger and thumb.
Okay. So the fine motor skills that 3 years old engage in are building blocks. We all have played. It's the 3 years or 4 years of age, the building blocks thing. That occurs because it requires very fine movements, right? The child can't just throw from the 1 meter away and build the block, right? It has to coordinate the hand and finger and eye also to place each block together and make some building or the structure that they like. Okay, the next section, 4 years, who will read? Meghna, read. Amal, thank you. Meghna will read.
4 years, gross motor skills, climb up and downstairs with 1 foot on each step. Fine motor
Okay,
skills,
continue.
fit this jigsaw puzzle precisely.
Okay, so when they reach the age of 4, they start climbing stairs. If the mother or the caretaker has to run behind them because they climb up, they fall. They climb up, they fall. They climb with each leg at a time on each stair. That's how they go. And regarding fine motor skill, we have an example that is playing jigsaw puzzles. We have the different shape puzzles cut into different shapes, and we have to, or the child has to put them together in order to make a whole picture, the big picture. So that is about 4 years old. Now 5 years old, Raina, read.
5 years, run hard, enjoy races,
Yes.
fine motor skills, hand, arm, and body are body all coordinate with eye movement.
Okay. So the gross motor skills, again, we know the 5-year-olds, they are the main running racers, right? Again, the parents or the caretakers have to keep an eye on them. Otherwise, they'll run away to some other forbidden place. I don't know where. And the fine motor skills that comes into the coordination of all the body parts. That is eye-hand coordination and the leg movements coordination. All these becomes very fine-tuned by 5 years of age. That is about the examples of gross and fine motor skills. So again, gross motor skills involves the large muscle activities and fine motor skills involve tuned movements. And you have to study examples of both. Now, another motor development that occurs is the preference for the left or the right hand. Like if we give something to the babies to eat, they might eat with their left hands or right hand, maybe with both of the hands or maybe with the legs also. Depends on them. And again, when they grow up and they go through this childhood period, after a certain period in the childhood development, they start to prefer left or the right hand to do their major activities. That is one major development taking place in the motor development in childhood. That's all. And here we have the picture of the gross motor skills: running, jumping, playing, cycling, all these things. And you also have fine motor skills: cutting, building blocks, playing with the clay. All these falls under fine motor skills. Now, one more thing that we are going to learn today is moral development. So which all development did we learn of childhood? Grishma?
Motor development, social development.
Motor and?
Social.
No.
Of
Which
child.
one?
Motor and physical development.
Physical development. Okay. Now we move on to the moral development. Moral development means learns what is right and what is wrong. Learning to differentiate between the rightness or wrongness of human actness. That is, whatever behavior they do, they start to understand what is, or they start to realize and interpret what is right and what is wrong. Such development is known as moral development. And they distinguish right from wrong, to feel guilty, to put themselves in other people's position, to help others when they are in trouble. All these things develop when they are in the childhood stage. That is, distinguish right from wrong. That is the point that I told you before. What is right and what is wrong. They know to understand what is right and what is wrong. To feel guilty. If they have done any mistake, they start to feel guilty. Then to put themselves in other people's position. That is, consider other people's point of view also. That process develops. Then to help others when they are in trouble. That is also one skill that is developed in the moral development during childhood. And we have just like the cognitive development theory for the, Piaget's theory for the cognitive development. We have Kohlberg's theory for moral development. You don't have to study all the stages, but I'll give you a general view about it. And Lawrence Kohlberg, that is the name of the person who gave different stages of moral development. And it is based just like the Piaget's theory. This is also age related. Like 0 to 2 years, we considered the sensory motor stage. So similarly, we have different stages in Kohlberg's moral development theory. But in your textbook, in our syllabus, we just have to learn it in a. So I'll just give a general view of it. Yes. How he studied the moral development, or how he developed this theory, is based on an interview study. He interviewed children in which they were presented with stories in which the characters faced moral dilemmas. And these children, they were asked what the characters in the dilemma should do and why. So this Kohlberg took a certain number of children, and he gave them a situation. He interviewed them about a particular situation in which the characters in the story was facing some dilemma or some confusion, where they have to make a decision or they have to act on a particular situation. And the children were asked what they would do and why, what the characters would do and why, the reason behind their action. And from that, he developed the moral development theory of the childhood period. So what he observed was that before 9 years, they think in terms of external authority. That is based on the punishments and rewards that they get from the external authority. Like, for example, if you are doing something, like if you are, you have spilled water on the floor, or the child has spilled water on the floor, and the child takes a cloth and wipes it off. So the parents praise them and give them some rewards in the form of chocolate or their favorite food or something like that. Okay, so the child understands that this is a good behavior and I have to repeat this behavior again so that I'll get some chocolate or rewards in the future. Okay, so from external authority, based on the rewards and punishment, they understood something, that this is a right thing to do. This is morally good. Okay, and regarding punishment, I'll give you an example. The child has spilled water on the floor, but the child didn't wipe it off. And the parents or the caretakers scolded them for that. So that's a form of punishment that they get. So they learned that this is a wrong behavior to do. Again, this is morally wrong. So before 9 years, the moral development is based on the external authority, and again based on the punishments and rewards that these external authority give to them. Okay, I'll just take 2 more minutes and I'll conclude. And by early adolescence, what happens is, or by late childhood, when they are going to finish the childhood stage, what happens is, through sets of rules of others and are internalized to be virtuous and win approval from others, not to avoid punishment. So before 9 years, they did everything to avoid punishment and to get or gain rewards. Okay. But by the late childhood or by early adolescence, they learn that they have certain rules set by others. The rules might be set by their parents, or any other people from the society, they have different rules based on the laws and legislation. They have different rules in the society. So they understand certain rules and guidelines by which they have to lead their lives. And these laws or these rules in the society are the ones that guide their moral development later on. That is by early adolescence. And after this stage, when you become an adult, you start making choices that this is the ethically good thing, or this is the morally good thing to do. This is not right. This is not good. You try to interpret everything in based on your principles also. You have certain principles in life when you become an adult, and you have certain laws and rules and regulations in the society that you live in. And so you try to mismatch everything. You make your own decisions and live accordingly when you become an adult. Okay, so initially you decide things what is, I mean, based on the morally right and wrong things, based on the external authority and based on the rewards and punishments. Later on, you focus on the rules and regulations in the society, or the rules and regulations set by others like parents, grandparents, or the other elders, or by the laws, by the legislation, etc. And later on, when you move to the adult stage, you have your own life principle, you have your own ethics, as well as you have other rules and regulations and laws in the society that you live in. So you decide accordingly which one is right for you and which one is not right for you. Okay. So that's all about the moral development. Any doubt? The three developments. And in a textbook, the moral development comes last. Since it's a small portion, I took it today. And we have some cognitive and socio-emotional development to learn in childhood. It's a bit longer ones. So we'll study that tomorrow. Okay? Yes. Any doubt in this? And please keep on reading. You have so many terms upcoming in the chapter. You have adolescence to deal with, the next stage, that your personal favorite stage. And you have adulthood. You have old age again coming in the chapter. And do you remember any of the biological bases that we learned? Cerebellum, cerebrum, hypothalamus, amygdala. That's complete sambar, I know. We'll revise it after this chapter. Okay. So keep on reading this. Okay. Yes. Take just 5 or 10 minutes from your busy schedule and please read. Okay, bye then. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.